Well, hello again.
We're at 8:19.
Welcome back. We are Spill the Beans.
Welcome back to Spill the Beans with Kellie and Jordan.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Kellie.
You should know that by now.
Yeah, haven't you watched like every single episode of our podcast?
You should.
Although we actually might be uploading this one before we upload some others just because of how relevant this topic is.
Is relevancy a word?
Relevancy? Yeah. It sounds like it would be a word.
I don't know. But today we are going to be talking about, as what I like to call, inmate number 76318-054.
Or Jeffrey Epstein.
I refer to him as his inmate number.
Yeah.
Because he's a complete and utter douche.
Douchebag.
Douchebaggery.
Yup. Man, oh man, oh man.
You say douchebaggery and then you think of all the things that come with this guy and you just get exhausted.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, mega money and...
Just a disgusting, vile human being.
If he didn't have all that disgusting, vile crap, he would be okay.
Yeah, he would just be, like, kind of a douche because he's, like, super rich.
Exactly. Super
rich.
Billionaire.
Yeah. Like,
but
too much money.
Billionaire from doing work stuff, you know, hedge fund crap.
Yeah, we're going to go into that a little bit.
Other crap.
Because before he was sketchy with the young ladies, he was kind of sketchy with his career a little bit. Mm-hmm. So...
By the way, he did hate his cell, so that's a good thing. He said it was cramped, dank, and infested with vermin.
Poor baby.
So he literally used his wealth and played by his own rules and devised a way out. Which literally meant he was able to get out and go to, like, different, you know, offices.
We'll talk about that.
Moving on.
We'll get into that when the time comes.
Irritates me.
Well,
Sorry.
you can totally go off on that once we get there. But let's start with, who is Jeffrey Epstein?
Who is inmate number 76318-054?
So, he started his career as a physics and mathematics teacher at Dalton School in Manhattan, in the Upper East Side.
Yep.
Fancy.
Fancy pansies.
And, you know, super smart guy, very intelligent. And, you know, this is a very good school, so a lot of well-to-do kids went there. But so the daughter and son of Alan Greenberg, who was the CEO of Bear Stearns, were his students. And, you know, him and Greenberg became acquainted, and Greenberg was impressed with Epstein and offered him a job at Bear Stearns, which is how he got his start in banking. And, you know, he's super smart, so he's doing, like, really good and stuff, and
He's a smart guy.
Don't get me wrong. Super smart.
He's a smart guy.
Very,
he's just a dick.
Yeah, very intelligent and very good at using his position to get...
Another weird choice of words.
Yeah, I guess, bad choice of word, but to get himself what he wants.
Right.
But by 1980, he was a partner at the firm until he was fired for policy violations. But we don't really know what those violations are because it's never revealed anywhere. You know, it's probably, like, sealed in a file somewhere.
Did you mention his teaching math?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, Dalton?
Yep.
Jesus.
But which is interesting that he was working with students. That's, like...
Tell me more.
It's, like, a scary thought. But, it's interesting that he was fired for policy violations, but we don't know what those are. So it's... He's already starting some sketchy stuff at, you know, his first banking job. It's pretty interesting. And it seems like he got fired, you know, after he kind of moved his way up the ladder. So,
which was
starting off
quick, apparently.
Yeah, super quick. 4 years and became a partner. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, that just, you know, credits his intelligence.
Yep. Yeah. And so he eventually started his own firm, IAG, which I forgot to write the full thing down.
I thought it was J. Epstein and Company.
That's later on. So he is he kind of goes through a few different businesses, and it's kind of boring stuff, but it's stuff that I wanted to cover because it kind of shows you his character and what kind of a person he is. like, not even mentioning the other stuff that we'll get into later on, or that you probably already know about because this is just such a famous case right now. But so he started his own firm, IAG, where he helped people recover embezzled funds, which, like, basically people who had invested their money in these companies, their monies, but people who had invested their money into companies, and these companies, like, embezzled their money away, he helped them get that money back.
Okay.
So that's a good thing.
So that's a good thing.
But then he also used this company to help people recover money they had embezzled themselves.
Stop starting to growl.
Yep. So he was kind of playing both sides. He was like, I'll help people recover their embezzled money, but I'm also going to help people who embezzled that money get away with it. Yeah, it's super fucked up.
Well, it's...
He's just so gross. Yeah. He's so gross.
Yeah, and every single one of his pictures, regardless of if it's, like, a good picture...
Yeah, like just a normal picture.
Like... Or his mugshot. Like, he's always, like, grinning.
He's fucking smirking in his mugshot.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Because he's probably thinking in my mind, like, I'm going to get away with this.
He knows. I mean, you have $1 billion.
Yeah.
You're going to get away with stuff.
And especially, like, working in...
And he knows people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, working in, like, the finance industry, especially in New York.
Yeah. And
getting involved with all these... really wealthy people. It puts you in a really good spot.
Dude, you're on a private jet half the time.
What?
You're on a private jet half the time.
Yeah. Oh, when it owns his own island. Yeah, literally can just get out if he needs to.
Go anywhere.
Yeah.
He can literally go anywhere. Even the moon. Too bad he didn't go there.
Yeah, right? In the late 80s, he started to work for Tower Financial Corporation, which would later collapse and be known as one of the largest pyramid schemes, losing $450 million of its investors' money. Oh. Fortunately for Epstein, he left a couple years before it collapsed. Lucky him. But
happy day.
Yep, happy day. But the guy who I think owned or was the CEO of Tower Financial Corporation said that Epstein knew about everything and played a strong hand in
I'm trying to follow you.
In basically this pyramid scheme, but because he got out at the right time, he wasn't tried or convicted of anything relating to that. So in 89, he opened his own money management firm called J. Epstein and Company. So
Kelly emailed me her notes.
Yes. Yay!
Thank
I don't know
Kelly.
why that was such a good idea of you though. I don't know why we didn't think of that in the first place.
What,
like
emailing
first,
me notes?
Yeah, like first podcast that we were like looking at the same thing.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Sounds good. Can we go down the page? I did a little bit of my own note taking, but some of it is a little sketchy. But I do have links.
Some of it is a little sketchy. Why is it sketchy?
It's sketchy just because, like, I highlighted and I copied and I pasted and like it was just like I didn't feel like typing it out.
Yeah,
sorry,
a lot of this. So I was typing this out on my phone, and then I got to the point where I was just using the like Siri button or whatever that'll type it out for me. I was like, oh, why didn't I think of this sooner? So I just started speaking into it, and I felt like a real reporter with like a recorder, you know.
This just in.
Yeah.
Epstein in '89 he'd opened his own money firm.
Boop, 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 boop.
Keep going.
Okay, alright.
The Victoria's Secret thing.
Yeah, yes. So scandalous. But so he eventually started to handle the finances. This is with his company, J. Epstein and Company.
Yep.
He handled the finances of Leslie Wexner, which was the CEO of L Brands, who owned Victoria's Secret.
Leslie. I wonder what Leslie looks like.
I know. I don't know.
Leslie looks like?
I don't. I bet it's a guy, though. Leslie Wexner sounds like a guy.
What kind of nationality do you think Leslie is?
Oh, white, for sure. If that's a nationality, I guess.
White? Definitely. It's not Caucasian.
He's probably some, like, old white fart.
What?
You know, some, like, nasty dude.
Leslie, what is it?
Wexner. I mean, I don't really know. He could be a lovely man. Who am I to say? I love Victoria's
Oh, he's a white
Secret.
guy. He's an old white doof.
There you go.
Yep, there he is. You know what he looks like? He looks like the Pope.
Oh my god, he does look like the Pope. A conspiracy is unfolding before our eyes.
Literally.
Next episode, Leslie Wexner is secretly the Pope. For those of you just listening, Jordan just did a bomb exploding sound effect.
It's true.
It was pretty great, actually.
Thank you.
So what's weird about this is, I mean, it's not super weird, but it's kind of like icky. But Epstein would attend the Victoria's Secret fashion shows, which would make sense if you're like...
Yes, because Victoria's Secret doesn't have underage people working for them.
Yes, that. And, you know, he's managing the account. You know, he's a big person within the company. He probably would get invited to that. That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
But apparently he helped many models get jobs with the company, which in my mind is like, what do they have to do for that? You know?
Well, yeah,
because
they're like, because that's the thing. Like, he can travel wherever. Mm-hmm. He can go to like Brazil and like just walk on the beach and do whatever he does and find somebody regardless of age.
Yep.
And then just like, hey, you want to be a Victoria's Secret model? And
or even like girls. I'm thinking probably girls living in New York who are aspiring to be models, and he probably, you know, I'm sure they all run in the same circles, like same social scene. So he's like, oh, like, you're an up and coming model. Like, I work for Victoria's Secret. Like, I can get like, you a gig.
You wake up in the morning and you're like,
wink, wink.
Let me go to Fiji and find a model today. Because you can do that. Fucking guy.
I feel like, should we talk about, like, some of his allegations? You know, we're actually about to get into that in a minute. I was going to say, should we talk about that? Because I'm talking all about his business. There's probably people who don't know who Epstein is, because I'm just, like, going into his backstory first. But, you know, that's fine. You know, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. But, so in 1996... he would rename his company the Financial Trust Company and relocate to the Virgin Islands to avoid income tax. Fucking douchebag, making so much money and making more money because he's now avoiding.
He apparently like specifically marketed his services to those with assets worth more than $1 billion.
Yeah.
And he operated his company out of the U.S. For Virgin Islands for tax reasons.
Yeah, because you can avoid. Yeah, you avoid basically 90% of income tax. It's super smart, and it's what a lot of rich people do. But it's fucking bullshit. It's like, that's why our taxes are so high, because these rich people are having their companies there, and like that money isn't being put back into the country.
But they also have all of their money is coming from assets. Like they're getting, like they own property and they're getting like rent, or they're getting this. That's an asset. A liability is different, because you and I, like, we have our cars and we have to pay them every month. That's a liability. Rent, liability. They're getting assets. They own shit. And all of the money that's coming from these assets of people renting the buildings, I mean, that's not taxed. So when
regularly?
Yeah. So when
it has to be taxed, because that's like your income. But like, say you're a landlord, that's part of your income. You would definitely have to file that on your taxes. You absolutely would. Because that's like people who like.
Because that's what I've been reading about, because of this and because of other business people, liabilities and assets. And an asset is just something like you borrow money from the bank.
Yeah.
And you purchase something. And even though you owe the bank the money, you're getting the money back from either rent,
like a third party or whatever.
Sort of.
There must be there's got to be some way, because there's people whose jobs are like being landlords, like owning properties and renting them, and they must get taxed on it. I'm sure there's like loopholes around it where you can not claim it or not file it, but that would be, I think, tax evasion or tax fraud.
That's the only reason why, like, these big, you know, billionaires, millionaires are able to keep that money is because it's considered
They probably
an
find
asset.
like all these legal loopholes, I'm sure.
Probably. I mean, because they can hire like this guy. He hired like legal superstars.
Yeah. To get around things.
To get around things, loopholes, all of that shit. But so yeah, I mean, moving on.
Last thing is this is a very interesting,
the
but
tax thing.
He would
Moving on from that.
He invested in like different hedge funds throughout the years, and through those he actually lost like a lot of money.
I still don't really know what a hedge fund is.
I don't really understand it either.
Clue us in.
That's why, and it just didn't sound like something I really wanted to research yet. So I was like, I'm just gonna include this little ditty about it. And that was it.
Sonic the Hedgehog Fund.
That would be a thing I would invest my money in.
A limited partnership of investors that uses high-risk methods such as investing in borrowed money in hopes of realizing large capital gains.
Jesus Christ. What is that? Like investing on like loans?
A limited partnership of investors with a lot of money that they, give the people to invest, which is borrowed. Like these guys borrow their money, and then
so kind of like
they're
stockbrokers and stuff.
They're borrowing money to put it into things in order to get big
money back.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of like I guess kind of like
I need a
stockbroker.
nap.
That's a lot of information.
Oh, 17 minutes.
Let me just restart just to be.
We're restarting. We'll be right back. Cool.
Okay, so
we just learned what a hedge fund is.
Yeah. Yay! I learn something new every day.
Winning.
But yeah, so that's kind of his like background with careers, and basically just gives you an idea of what he does, and he obviously has a lot of
smarts,
wealth. He's very intelligent and knows a lot of people in like high up positions and people of power, and he was a person of high power too. It's crazy. So his legal troubles started about in 2005.
Dude, he knew the Queen's son.
Yeah, Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that. Yeah.
I'm excited.
A little bit, but
a little.
Yeah, I mean we will, but so 2005. A woman reached out to the Palm Beach Police Department. That's where Epstein lived in Palm Beach. He had a big mansion there, and then he also lived in Manhattan. But I think he spent most of his time in Palm Beach at this point. Around this time, I think he was mostly in Palm Beach. He definitely traveled between the two of those places, and then his place he owned like his own small private island. I think in like the Virgin Islands, right?
Yes, yeah, his own small private island.
In the Virgin Islands or something like that. That's probably where he like based his company out of, was probably on the island that he owned.
His massive office.
But yeah, so this woman reached out to Palm Beach Police Department claiming that her 14-year-old daughter had been brought to Epstein's mansion by another underage girl.
Yeah, because he did that.
Yeah,
he would tell the girl to bring another girl,
and they would get like
they
would get like a bonus. So crazy.
Bonus.
Yeah.
But they really didn't know any better.
Yeah, not really.
I mean, like I read that a lot of them came from like.
They came from not great backgrounds, and you gotta think too, especially like $300 is a lot of money now. In 2005, it was even more money back then. And you gotta think these are young girls, and they're influenced very easily, and
they say, you do a massage.
And I'm sure a lot of girls too are like, you know what, especially if they don't come from a good background, they're like, I'm getting paid $200, $300 for like this couple of hours, like I might as well just do it now and like save up a bunch of money, and then I can stop, Yeah. It's kind of like people who go into like stripping or prostitution.
This was
like
in
2005. This was when it was reported. I'm sure it had been going on.
Because I read that it was in like the 90s.
Yeah, I think it was going on all throughout that time. Yeah. I think this was just when it had been... it must have been reported before then, but this is when it was taken, like, seriously. Mm-hmm. But so, yeah, she claimed that her 14-year-old daughter that had been brought by another girl had given Epstein a massage and had been told to strip, and then at the end of it had been paid $300.
14. Honestly.
Yeah.
Could have been his daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. So once that happened, the police and the FBI began a 13-month undercover operation, which included a raid of his house.
Should have been an air raid.
Yeah, right. Drop down through the ceiling, SWAT team coming through. I mean, it totally could have been something like that.
I don't know. Like, I'm getting,
maybe minus some machine
guns. A little dramatic here. Sorry. We're coming in. Flat screen. No.
But so they interviewed.
That was exciting.
Apparently 5 victims, 17 witnesses, and with the raid of the house, they uncovered hidden cameras.
Yes, I read that stupid shit.
Yep, and photographs of like underage girls, including some of the pictures of the victims that they had interviewed.
Did you see the art that they found?
No, let me see. I didn't. Let's look it up.
There's a painting of like a young girl, and she's kind of like laying down on top of, I think it was a tiger, and the tiger's mouth is open, but she's like a young girl and she has boots on and like stockings and stuff.
It's just like so.
And
yeah,
he has another painting of Bill Clinton sitting in a chair.
Oh, I saw that one.
You saw that one?
I saw
that one.
That one.
That one is so weird. So weird. Bill Clinton sitting in a chair with his legs crossed with high heels, dressed in a blue dress like Monica Lewinsky.
Oh my god.
And he has that in his home, like just like art.
Well, doesn't this kind of remind you of, so we texted slightly about this.
Mm-hmm. What?
This makes me think of Pizzagate. And it's crazy that, I feel like we'll have to do a whole episode on that, but it's insane to me that people don't believe it. It's like when shit like this comes out, how can you not believe it? It's like these people are all connected to each other.
They are.
When I researched Pizzagate, this guy's name came up.
Mm-hmm.
And like this was before his arrest. Like, in this past year, this was, like, after his arrest in 2005, in 2006, like, he was kind of linked in, not really with, like, Pizzagate, but kind of.
Well, I think the difference was he found someone, like, it's not like he's choosing, it's not like the back of a truck opens and he just says, oh, I want that one. Like, he was choosing these girls. It's so funny, that picture.
It was pretty funny.
He's choosing these girls. I don't know where he first got started. I don't know where he first found his first girl to start this whole thing. But like I said, it's not like he opened the door and picked. Like, that has been child trafficking.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of the girls were, like, brought to him.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of girls were... he was paying a girl to get someone for him.
Whereas Pizzagate... So Pizzagate is like this big scandal that came out when Hillary Clinton's emails actually got leaked by WikiLeaks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was emails between her and John and Robert Podesta that are her campaign managers. And so basically there was all like these really strange emails and this weird terminology that is that the FBI in the past has linked to child sex trafficking rings, because there's a lot of pizza terminology. It sounds really stupid, and honestly it does, but that's why it's like hard to believe.
It's like a slice of pizza on the gate. Pizza gate.
Yeah. But like there's a lot of like pizza terminology that's basically a hidden code among human trafficking.
2016.
Yeah, so this was before Epstein's arrest, and I remember I learned about this guy because of this, because people were saying that it kind of reminded them. I don't know if he was directly linked with this, but I know... Does it have his name here?
It has been extensively discredited by a wide range of organizations. Obviously, they're going to say, "Oh, we didn't do it,"
that's what
including the Metropolitan Police Department and the District of Columbia.
Yeah, because it involves a lot of people in D.C., and it's just crazy to me that something like this...
John Podesta motherfucker.
Yep. Seriously.
Yeah.
But that something like this can come forward and people have a hard time believing that. It's like, this is so similar. It's like almost the exact same thing. Because he must be like linked with them somehow, or I'm sure they know of each other. But it's just crazy to me. But it's also weird too that I was thinking because of the artwork, because these guys have a lot of really strange artwork.
Weird.
In their, like both of these, John and Robert Podesta, both have very strange artwork that looks like it's glorifying like children being abused.
Oh yeah.
Or like they have like photos, like not photos, they have paintings of like young girls naked and all this stuff. And same with like.
But that's not porn.
Yeah, but it's just. I'm going off on a tangent. I could literally talk so much about this, but it's It's just crazy to me that like. Nobody believed that, and then all these media outlets and stuff were discrediting it, and it's like, how can you discredit something like that and not even remotely try to take it seriously when you have something like this that's proven, and this is clearly a very similar case, so why can't that be true?
Good points.
You know?
But, you hear the news talk about it, right? And the news finds out how they find out. However, a lot of people get kind of, the skeevies about, like, talking about it the way we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a serious thing, but we're, doing our research and looking it up and trying to kind of have as much fun with the whole thing as you can. Not trying to be disrespectful to anybody.
Yeah, of course.
But also trying to find out the truth and seeing
and
these...
put it out there, because things like the major news outlets, I mean, they're obviously all talking about Epstein because... it's a big thing, and it's just so clear that he's guilty. But, if we don't talk about it in such an open way, the information doesn't get out there.
No, it doesn't get out there. But, that's the thing. People don't, these girls he's soliciting are getting paid, and they think, hey, this is a pretty good gig. I get to go on these private planes.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah, I can, stomach this for an hour.
And then
I'll
later
live
on,
this lavish lifestyle.
Later on, their mindset changes, and they're like, "Wait a minute!"
Because they're manipulated into it.
This guy was apparently also abusive.
10 times older than them,
and plus abusive to them apparently.
Yeah.
But let's keep going on the notes.
Ugh. Ugh. But.
That's gross.
So after, they find all this evidence against him and stuff, in spring of 2006, the police department of Palm Beach filed an affidavit claiming that Epstein should be charged with 4 counts of sex with minors and 1 count of molestation. Because I'm sure that's what they could prove.
They were pissed.
They were pissed, and that, to me, even sounds low. Not enough of a charge, but they probably didn't want to go too high and think well, we can't get
No, it was all of his superstar
20 counts of this and 10 counts of that. So I think, to me, it almost sounds like they were balling low with that, thinking this will be an easy way to get him.
The police department wanted to get him, but him as a billionaire, he could hire all the people that he wanted to get him out of it. Because
he didn't even get charged with all of that.
No.
So
he got charged with 1.
He got charged with 1 count and no intent of a felony.
Yeah. 18 months? And he served 13?
So then Michael Ryder, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Anybody else would have been life.
Anybody else would have, absolutely, absolutely.
Not 18 months and then 13
they would have,
and then
for all of that, come on. But Michael Ryder, the police chief of Palm Beach at the time, accused the state prosecutor of being too lenient. 1000%.
1000%.
Oh my god.
I'm glad I did 1,000 correctly, though.
Right? We forgot a zero.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, what?
Shit. Can't go back.
You just have to repeat the clip.
Yeah.
But Alexander Acosta, the U.S. District Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, agreed to a very lenient plea deal for Epstein. And he got a lot of shit for this, but he claimed later on that at one point during the trial and whatever, he was told by the FBI that Epstein was part of the intelligence agency. Like, he was intelligence. So he was basically told to, drop it down to a lower thing and basically just stop pushing on it. Like, stop asking for names, stop questioning him, give him a plea deal, and, wrap it up.
Well, they wanted to do it quick.
They wanted to do it quick, and they didn't want names coming out.
No.
Because he was intelligence. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't think he's intelligence where he is an undercover spy or anything. If anything, I would think it's more of a case where... Because this has kind of been a speculated thing that with politicians, that certain people in power throughout the world get put in situations where they're filmed, and then it can be used for blackmail.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the FBI or some small part of the government is doing this to basically get leverage over world leaders and politicians and stuff.
You've got blackmail.
Yeah, exactly. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this was Epstein's part in the intelligence agency. If he's the guy who, they already know he's doing this, and he's already working with high up people, I wouldn't be surprised if they came to him and were like, hey, we're gonna basically turn a blind eye and let you keep doing your thing because we want you to do this for us.
Yeah, that's how he didn't really spend much time, and that's how he could go wherever he wanted to go.
Yeah.
That's how. Plus,
it's crazy. But so this plea deal...
It's, you know what? It's like space. It's otherworldly.
It is. It's just crazy to think that...
Or dimensions.
Someone can just, get away with this shit. And, this day and age, it's
Well, it's only because of money.
Seriously.
You can hire...
It's insane.
The best. You can hire whoever you want to do.
It's awful.
You can hire... Sorry about that.
Whoever you want to do. It's hard to not, stick your foot in your mouth with this one. Even that I feel like sounded wrong.
There's no right way of describing this, but
there really isn't.
According to your notes, they interviewed 5 victims and 17 witnesses.
Yeah, we're a little bit further down.
But we're a little further down. But I reread it. With the raid of his house, they uncovered all that stuff. Mm-hmm. He had a massage room. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We should talk about that.
We should talk about that.
I guess so. Why not?
Massage room. So yeah, I watched a little video. I think I sent you.
Yeah, you did. I watched it.
Or maybe it was a different one, but they described his house. They went up this staircase, or was it up or down?
Yeah, no, it was up.
They went up this staircase, and it was a room, and it had it literally had who was his assistant? That chick.
Oh, we're gonna talk about her. We're gonna talk about her.
Let's talk about that before I get into describing the room.
Not Giselle, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, she's been almost every picture I've seen of him, she's been there.
Yeah.
Is that
Sorry,
his wife?
I have a hair on my lip.
That's alright. Get her off.
Alright, I got it. Yeah, I mean, we can.
What was her name?
We'll definitely talk about her, Ghislaine
you want to go there later?
Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah.
All right.
We'll talk about her in a minute. But we're definitely gonna talk about her. Let me see if we even need to go over this.
What freaking page?
Basically, let me see. I'm up here.
Oh, cool.
A little bit up.
Oh, a little bit further.
No, that's fine.
Yep. We're good.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, the plea deal basically resulted in Epstein pleading guilty to 2 cases of felony prostitution, and intent for sex with minors, and that he would be a registered sex offender. and pay restitution to a few dozen of his victims, which I don't think ever happened.
Out of court.
Which I don't think ever really happened because his prosecutors were later got in trouble because they never told the victims about that.
I read that now that he's gone, all of the victims are suing his estate.
Oh,
because
to get
his
his money
is worth
a lot of money.
$577 million.
Yeah.
So they're suing for the estate, which go ahead.
Yeah. They should. I know, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out and what happens with that. But so yeah, in 2008 he was sentenced to 18 months in prison, and this is, you were talking about this once we first started, that he, after not that long, he was put in a private wing of the county jail.
Yep, private.
And then after 3.5 months he was granted a work leave and was allowed to leave for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah, that's where he went to his office.
Yeah. He literally went to his office, and he had guards, but it was required of the guards to basically dress up in suits and sign guests, and so it basically looked like they were just working there. It didn't look like he was being guarded by police or anything. It literally just looked like he was running an office.
That's what you can do. I mean, technically, everything that is going on, think about it. You're a billionaire. You can do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. The law is not really, you can't,
it doesn't apply to him.
It doesn't apply,
which is sad because it should, and our justice system is supposed to make that not a thing, but it literally did. The law didn't apply to him. He did whatever he wanted.
Absolutely. Wow, get passionate, why don't you? Hello, we are Spill the Beans, and we are talking about a guy who is a very intelligent guy. Did very well, with his stuff that he was doing. But I like to consider him inmate number 76318-054.
So one of inmate... I can't read that far, I don't have my glasses on.
76318-054.
Okay.
Get with it.
So one of his victims, and I would say this is probably one of the most famous victims, is Virginia Roberts.
I recognize that.
That was, yep. So she was in that video that you sent me.
You say Virginia, I think Julia.
Virginia Roberts. And, okay, so a little backstory on her.
Please
she had run away from home around the age of 13, and it's pretty crazy. Well, this is all according to her, but she wound up in a sex trafficking ring that would eventually be raided by the FBI, and she was freed and returned home.
That sounds like some Illuminati shit.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, but, yeah, and she was living in Florida. And so, when she returned home, she started to work at the Trump Hotel, Mar-a-Lago, or Alago, I forget.
Mar-a-Lago.
I wrote Mar-a-Lago.
I know, I see it. It's Mar-a-Lago.
Okay.
I think it's Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, without the R, right?
I think so.
I think I misspelled that.
Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago.
Whatever.
But, so she started working there at 15 as a locker room attendant in the spa, and she was aspiring to be a massage therapist. So this is where Ghislaine Maxwell steps in.
I couldn't help but laugh.
I mean, she has a pretty fancy name. She sounds like she would be a
Is that really how you spell her
something.
name?
Yeah.
Ghislaine.
Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine?
Yeah.
But I think it's pronounced Ghislaine or Ghislaine.
Yeah, no, yeah. Everything is silent except for the G and the
Elaine. So, yeah, the H and the S. But... But so she is actually Epstein's secretary, and...
Maybe she was Epstein's secretary.
Yeah, she was Epstein's secretary. She absolutely was.
So
and so this chick,
15.
Yeah, this chick was 15, so this chick is 15, and this is I read, so you can find her, I was telling Jordan earlier, I might have even talked about it on here, I don't remember, but I read this, so in not Ghislaine's, in Virginia Roberts'
a lot of names.
civil lawsuit, yeah, she has this like 75-page testimonial where she like talks about her time, and it kind of almost reads as like a book. It's like kind of weird. I mean, she goes into a lot of detail, and it's
interesting.
The way she writes it, it's like I don't know, I'm not trying to be judgmental in any way, but the way she writes it, it almost, I don't know.
Just say it.
It sounded like, I don't know, because she's like describing like sex acts and stuff, so it almost, I don't know, she just goes into a lot of detail that...
She goes into detail about sex acts.
Yeah, she does, and some of it just sounded like, I don't know, it's just weird reading it the way she wrote it, I would have to say.
Those are the things that I'm comfortable with saying.
It's not even that. It's, I feel bad because it like that I'm saying this because it almost reads as like a story, not like this is this girl's account of what happened. Like the way she writes it, it almost feels like you're reading a book, like fictional literature.
Okay.
The way she like writes the scenes. And
Check it out.
I feel bad kind of saying that because obviously like this girl went through a lot.
Absolutely.
And stuff. But it I don't know, it just struck me in a weird way, but maybe it's just because it is fucking weird. But so she thinks that
definitely fucking weird, I'll give you that.
This chick, like Ghislaine Maxwell, let's go into a little bit about her and then we can go into Virginia's story. But so she was Epstein's secretary, and she was actually the daughter of a disgraced newspaper tycoon, Robert Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
And so Virginia claims that Ghislaine would basically always be involved in the abuse with Epstein, and she basically like gathered a lot of girls for him. And so...
Can I just read a little thing from Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Ghislaine Noel Marion Maxwell is a British socialite and the youngest child of publishing tycoon and fraudster Robert Maxwell.
Yep.
So she moved to the United States after her father's death in 1991 and became a close associate of financier and subsequently convicted sex offender
Epstein.
Wait a minute. No, you continue. I want to read his number again.
But so basically, Epstein like took her under his wing.
Yeah.
And what this girl claims, because Ghislaine was kind of always there with Epstein, she was involved in a lot of stuff with him, is that she...
Everything. Yeah,
everything. She thinks that she got girls for him, all this like creepy and shitty stuff.
Yeah.
But so she doesn't think they had like an actual like relationship where they were like boyfriend and girlfriend. She thinks it was basically just like an arrangement where Ghislaine would like do this stuff for him, provide girls and whatever, and then Epstein would basically provide her with money and the lavish lifestyle that she had before her father like lost all his money. So I think for her, and apparently her father too was kind of like a womanizer and stuff. So that's where some people think like maybe she kind of grew up not in the best kind of lifestyle, and then she lost...
And she's British.
Her and her family lost everything. And then here comes this guy, Epstein, who basically took her under his wing. Mm-hmm. And who knows, she might have even been like his first victim. Like, who really knows, you know?
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about like him meeting her and then maybe them like seeing each other and like dating and him asking her like, hey, can you do this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
who
it
knows?
Turning and spinning.
Or, like
maybe
manipulating her.
Maybe she is the like all of the arrows pointing. She gets him like his first like, you know, girl, and then it all spirals. So maybe she's that piece of the puzzle.
I think she is. I mean, she definitely is. And whether it's like a combined, these two people are both just like, they're both obviously sick. But whether it's a combined like...
For her, it's probably money and traveling and all the lavish stuff. And she's like, you know what, fine.
Whatever. But so... for them, yeah, it could even be like... They're both like... You know, when he takes her under his wing, it could either be a thing where he like grooms her into this kind of...
idea? Like mental manipulation.
Yeah, or it could even, who knows, it could even be a thing where meeting of the minds, and they both realize, hey, we both kind of like manipulating people in this stuff, and then they kind of just figure out this arrangement over time, you know, who knows?
Because maybe she would just do it to please him.
Yeah. But this chick claims that she was, like, into it, though, so I think that she enjoyed it just as much as he did. But so this chick, Virginia Roberts, she met Ghislaine Maxwell while working at the spa at this Trump hotel, and Maxwell basically approached her and was like, I guess she said that she was reading a book on massage therapy because she eventually wanted to go to school for it. And so she was like, oh, like, are you a masseuse? And she was like, no, like, I'm interested I'm learning. And Ghislaine basically was like, oh, well, like, I have this client who I think you would really like, and he's looking for a masseuse. Like, I would like to... She was like, you have the right personality that he likes. Like, literally, she was like, you know, she was like, do you want to come over to the house to audition to be his masseuse, basically? And she was like, she's a 15-year-old girl who had just come back from being a runaway and was in a sex trafficking ring.
Okay to do.
So yeah, she thinks
she doesn't know any better.
She thinks that's normal, and she's like, oh, this could be like a really great opportunity for me. Like, I should take this. So the next day she went to Epstein's house for the first time, and yeah, Ghislaine told her it was an audition and to basically think of it as a lesson. And according to
you're going to school.
Yeah, and according to Virginia, Ghislaine brought her up to the massage room, which was basically his bathroom, but it was like supposed to be a really fancy like room that had like a massage table in the middle of it. It had a shower, and then it had a steam room. Yeah. And it was like all in this one room. Yeah. And I guess
like he had like from what I saw, I saw a picture of it, and he had like a dresser or like a couple dressers. Yeah. And like they were just I don't know what the first one had, but one of them had like oils and like, all that crap. Yeah. And the first two, and then the bottom two were a little more dramatic with other
like sex toys and stuff.
So
we're both like trying to skirt around that, but there's really you're just gotta lay it out there.
Skirt around it. No, it was full of like I don't even know if it had like different outfits or something like that. I think I read something about how he had different outfits and he wanted them to dress a certain way and wear this and do that. And
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised either. However, so that
it's crazy. But yeah, so this Ghislaine chick basically taught Virginia. This is all Virginia's testimony,
yeah,
like what she's claiming.
She already knew what he liked.
So she's like basically like teaches her how to massage him, and then apparently they both started to like take advantage of her. And at the end of it, he paid her $200 afterwards, and then Ghislaine was like, "Oh, you did really good. Like, we'd like to see you again tomorrow."
But bring somebody with you.
No, so with this chick, like this basically went on for about a week or so. And then Epstein and Ghislaine basically were like, we really like you. We'd like to hire you as our traveling masseuse. And they offered to take her with them on their travels.
Now, think about it. You're 15. This lady comes up to you. You're studying. You know, you don't know any better. You say, okay, it sounds like safe or whatever. You go up to a private thing. You know, you do what you're doing, and she's telling you how to do what you're doing, and things escalate, and they get in on it, and like those cameras are there. So where the hell is like the evidence of the footage of this crap happening?
I don't know. I mean, were the cameras in the massage room, or where were they?
I think they were in multiple places. Well, because a dude like that wants to, look back at what happened.
If you're going to have hidden cameras, I guess you would have it in that room of all places.
Yeah, but where, you have a hidden camera and it's recording, is the camera recording it to itself, or is the camera recording it to a general spot in the house? Because sometimes you have multiple cameras and they're all just in one hub. Yeah. So where is the evidential footage of these things being recorded?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of it too could have been, the footage that they found in 2005, 2006 was kind of squashed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they even have that footage anymore. They might not.
Kelly's gonna tell you more. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, dude, look it up. I'm just gonna check on the camera.
Yep. Yes.
So this chick basically became like their main girl. She traveled with them. She went to all the islands with them. Everything.
Yep.
And I think they had like a couple girls that were like that, but this girl really became their main girl. And it kind of makes sense that she would let herself fall into something like this, considering she had already had sexual abuse in her past and, had already come out of a human trafficking ring.
Yep.
Which is pretty crazy that this has now happened to her twice. Pretty weird. It makes it... Some of it makes it hard to believe. Yeah. But I believe her when it comes to the Epstein stuff because she has pictures with them.
Yes.
And she's in photos and stuff.
Yeah, even when he got out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When he got out and he was doing his thing, like, you saw a pic, you can look it up yourself. Or we can maybe put a picture like here.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of him meeting her and like as he had his hand in his pocket.
Yeah.
And he was hugging her, but he was like half on her ass.
Oh my god,
and,
so gross.
Like, I guess he was saying something to her and then she like walked away with like she had like a glass of water or something. She like, walked away with that and like smiling though. Like, but that's such a lifestyle. If she can deal with that, that's like a lifestyle that, she could probably get used to.
Yeah.
But since she's underage.
Well, in her mind too, it was like where she was thinking, I might as well save up some money and the mental manipulation and the fact that she already has abuse in her past. She's like, maybe this is all I'm good for kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And so over the years, she, not only, did stuff with them, she was also kind of pimped out to like wealthy and famous people. And this is where mm-hmm. Prince Andrew comes in because mm-hmm. one of them she claimed was Prince Andrew. Mm-hmm. And there's a picture of the two of them together. Yeah, which is pretty crazy. I'll look it up. We'll put it up here.
Yeah. Along with other things.
Yeah, it's... And, of course, the royal family denies it and stuff, but there's...
Oh, that picture. Yeah.
There's images of them together.
Yeah, you have to look at that one. Or that one, actually. Go back.
It's crazy. There's images of them together with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right in the background.
In the background.
She's in the background, and then the girl is in the foreground, and she's wearing these, like, shiny, sexy pants,
like, she's dressed, like, not scandalously,
no.
But I guess, like...
Like, if she was going out.
Yeah, like, they were going out. Well, she claims that they, like, went out clubbing that night.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
she basically, like, danced with him for the night, and then they had, they had sex later on.
Yeah, but look where his hand is.
Exactly. It's like, that's
He's
not...
almost, like, grabbing himself.
That's not innocent right there.
No.
Like, she's a young girl. She's clearly young, and she's dressed kind of scantily.
But he's also looking like, why are you taking a picture right now?
Yeah, he is. He's kind of
right before they leave.
He's kind of like, I guess we'll take a photo.
And she's like, oh, I just want to make Jeff happy.
Yeah, or she's like, we got you now, fucker.
Yeah. Well put.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just like, ugh.
But yeah, this girl has like a lot of stories. Apparently, like, one of the times that she was at the island, he flew out, Epstein and Maxwell flew out 7 Russian girls who didn't speak English and arrived with a modeling agent.
I don't think I knew that one.
And, yeah, I didn't either, but...
Well, you found out.
But, yeah. I guess there was, like, I think a couple times where she supposedly had sex with Andrew.
Mm.
But,
So it was multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Because he's probably like, hey, you know what? Andrew wants to, hang out again. So you want to go over there and do that and like.
And so the royal family
fund your bank account and go shopping and get this.
Yeah, and the palace said that Andrew has never stayed at Epstein's home, at any of his homes. But it's like, well, that's not true because there's a picture of him there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, technically, there's a picture of him there, but he didn't stay there.
Yeah, it's like the same thing, though.
Yes, it is. But I know.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
It is crazy. But moving on to what is it? What do you want to do? The Jane Doe thing?
Well, this is. Yeah, we can talk about this. So this is another civil lawsuit. So this is Jane Doe versus Epstein and Trump. And she filed a lawsuit against the two of them in 2016, claiming the two men had assaulted her on multiple occasions at Epstein's house in Manhattan. And, she tried to have the case tried on several different occasions, and multiple times it was thrown out of court or just dismissed or whatever. And then on the third time, where it was actually, I guess, taken seriously, before her court appearance, she was like receiving like phone calls like threatening her, so she wound up not showing up.
That sucks.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many other cases out there, guys. You can literally there's just so much stuff. There's literally like an abundance of people claiming things, and
well, because
crazy.
they're like willing, and then they're threatened.
Yeah.
And then time goes by, and stuff happens, and they get the courage to speak out.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything ever, if anything bad ever happens, like, speak out.
Yeah.
But then you have the billionaires and the millionaires and what they can potentially do, and like, it's a very corrupt system.
Especially with this guy. I mean, so we obviously just talked in depth about this Virginia Roberts story, and I really went into her story because she was like one of the main girls, and she was the one who hooked up with Prince Andrew. But I think it's said that he's had probably like not like hundreds of victims himself, but like
Prince Andrew.
No, Epstein.
Epstein
but he's had tons and tons of girls, like,
I read over
where
100.
I was gonna say not only himself, but then him pimping him out, like them out to famous clients. Like some of his clients are supposed to be like Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, like all of these really famous and wealthy people.
Well, also
and
celebrities.
It's just crazy.
That's where like different celebrities get involved because it's all regarding money.
Yeah.
And it's all regarding power.
Yeah, celebrities, and also people like within other industries, like science industries, like famous like scientists and
Hawkins. Didn't he know Stephen Hawking?
Hawking.
Yeah.
Did he?
He knew him.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, he knew of Stephen Hawking. Whether or not stuff happened with Stephen Hawking.
My guess would be probably not. I feel like it wouldn't really be worth it.
Maybe he watched. I'm not sure.
That's true. Maybe he watched.
Yeah,
maybe he got some.
Maybe he flew him in and he rolled on in. I'm not. I'm not sure, but
he knows a lot of people in a lot of places.
And
is basically our point.
And they're important. And there's money flowing out of every orifice. And there's stuff happening and like jets.
Bills on bills on bills on bills.
What? Here you go. But that's how it is. The regular 9 to 5, 7 to 3, whatever the hell your hours are, full time, working paycheck to paycheck people don't really encounter, they don't encounter this. Like, you don't wake up one morning and say, hey, I want to go here, and like you land and like, hey, let's do this, let's party, and you have unlimited funds and you can do
and then you have all these people that are just letting you get away with it.
Exactly.
Because no one's saying anything, no one's doing anything, because they're partaking in it.
You're not.
They're all disgusting.
Yes. Look.
They're all terrible.
You have no legal bounds. Kelly's worked up. She's pissed.
I want to check on the camera. I feel like maybe it overheated.
Oh no.
Even though I stopped it, but... Oh no, it's still recording. It's on one battery. But all right, let's talk about.
And we are not by any means sponsored by Coors Light or Steel Reserve, but over the past month, I've been trying Steel Reserve Alloy series. They have a bunch of different flavors and stuff. They're really good, but again, we're not, sponsored by them. Maybe
we're not, but maybe we could be.
Just saying. And Kelly likes it, and I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And my girlfriend Amy likes it too.
And my eyeshadow matches it, and that wasn't planned.
Weird.
Super weird.
Coming over here, I stopped, and I got blue Raz, thinking that might be cool. She might like that. I show up, poof, blue Raz all over her face.
Yeah, blue Raz eyeshadow.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep, moving on.
2019, this bitch gets arrested. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Bam, bam, bam. So the FBI raided his Manhattan house on July 6th. I'm not sure why. Probably just
It was convenient.
I don't know. I don't know.
Manhattan?
I'm not 100% sure what brought about this raid, but they obviously had some sort of information. Some new information came forward, or maybe they were like, it's time to get this dude.
Maybe that's where, when that girl spoke out.
Oh yeah, in 2016. That could be part of it, yeah.
Maybe that's where it happened. They were like, oh, okay. Let me go, let's get, a search warrant.
Yeah.
And, let's raid this place and see what we uncover randomly. And they found quite a bit. So they found, hundreds of pictures of underage nude women. They found videos of girls. They found a large stash of cash. In a safe with 48 diamonds. I don't know why, but some video I watched, it had that in there, and I was like, well, that's interesting. But the most interesting, not the most interesting thing, the most interesting thing I would say would be the evidence of, his sex acts. But another interesting thing is that they found an expired illegal Austrian passport. That didn't have his actual name on it.
It didn't have his actual name. It had his picture, but it had a fake name on it. So he had a fake passport. And why do you think that is? It's so he can travel into different countries, do whatever he wants
without having,
his name
jurisdiction
attached.
problems.
Exactly. It's crazy. And I'm sure he got away with. I'm sure he did some pretty terrible things. And then
I think there was violence involved.
Oh, I'm sure. What was you were just watching that other thing that said what else did they find? They found a doll hanging from a chandelier.
In his home they found a doll that was either dressed. It was either dressed or naked, hanging from a chandelier. They found that painting I was referring to earlier about the young girl in
with the tiger.
With the tiger.
Pictures up.
What else did they find? They found a shit ton of pictures and videos. They just found weird, weird stuff. Just weird stuff. But that, comes with the territory of
being a fucking creep.
Yeah. Being a fucking creep, dude.
Yeah, man. So on July 8th, the Southern District of New York charged him with sex trafficking of minors. And, he was arrested and he was denied bail because he's obviously a flight risk.
Yep.
No question about it.
Well, no guns, no narcotics that we know of, but underage is pretty severe.
Well, that and, usually when someone is denied bail because of a flight risk, it's usually because they have a lot of money. So they have a very easy means of leaving the country, which he absolutely did. He had a fucking private jet.
Yeah.
He totally could have.
Dude, he had everything.
Left, and he had one fake passport. I wouldn't be surprised if he had another hidden somewhere else. Yeah. So on July 23rd, so he was arrested, put in jail, and on July 23rd at 1:30 in the morning.
It's really weird?
What?
Whose birthday is that?
Is that Amy? That's not Amy's birthday.
That's my birthday.
That's your birthday?
July 23rd, yes.
Damn.
Just saying.
Well, I think this was July 23rd of this year.
Yeah.
So that it is. So on your birthday at 1:30 in the morning,
I was sleeping.
Epstein was found unconscious in his jail cell with marks around his neck, and he claims he doesn't remember what happened. Now there's a couple theories with this. People think that it might have been his cellmate, like, put up to it, because I guess his cellmate was like a former cop or police. Hopefully we should try to wrap it up in that.
We should. Welcome back.
For a while.
We had to charge the battery on the camera. We need to work on getting a different full recording.
Alright. Okay, so let's get back to it. So,
yep.
July 23rd, 1:30 in the morning, he was found with marks on his neck.
Yeah.
And claims he doesn't remember. So there's different theories about this. One is that he was murdered by his cellmate, which was like an ex-police officer who was accused of like 4 murders. Another one was that he either did attempt suicide or that he basically created marks around his neck to, I think, maybe get him out of this cell or maybe get him in like a better spot.
Yeah.
Like maybe he was kind of playing it up, trying to, change up where he was in jail.
Right.
And then after this, he was placed on suicide watch.
They did not do a very good job of that.
Nope. Well, July 29th, he was taken off suicide watch. And however, the jail told, the judge that they would have an officer check on his cell every 30 minutes, going forward.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, so the night of August 9th / morning of the 10th, this was the day that he died on. Apparently, the 2 guards that were supposed to be, watching his cell every 30 minutes fell asleep. And
I read that's because they were doing just a shit ton of overtime.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Different people from different departments were coming in to also do that stuff, and they were, I think, short-handed. So, I mean, I can understand falling asleep because, come on,
overrun
man.
like that.
I mean, you're doing overtime and you're short-handed. Somebody needs to do it, and your own physical being is exhausted.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be sitting there. You fall asleep, and then the oh shit button pops on, and you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh,
yeah.
And he's dead.
So.
Panic.
So he died, and then they wound up finding him.
Mm-hmm.
Also interesting, though, on the day of August 9th, his cellmate was transferred, so he was alone in his cell, which is interesting. And his death was ruled a suicide by hanging. However, I don't think they found him hanging. From what I could find, it didn't seem like they found him hanging. They just found his body. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been automatically ruled a hanging. But they had to send his body to, a coroner.
Yeah, to get autopsy.
To figure out what happened. And the autopsy revealed that his hyoid bone had been broken, which is a bone in the neck, which can happen in cases of hanging, but I guess it's actually more common in cases of being strangled to death. And
wait a minute, but is that dude in his cell left?
Yeah, but there's a lot of so basically this is where it comes in, where a lot of people don't think he committed suicide because he knew a lot of people, and I guess basically it was thought that after he was arrested and put in jail that he was going to try to make some sort of plea deal where he would release a lot of his clients' names and name a lot of people in order to either get himself out of jail or lower his sentence. So that's where a lot of people think that he was murdered to keep him silent.
Wow.
I mean, it's not proven or anything. It will never be proven.
There's also the possibility of him actually trying to hang himself.
Absolutely.
And them finding him on the ground is just him, maybe doing that, and he jumps and the neck breaks and the thing falls. And
or whatever. You never know. And apparently he did change his will on the 8th.
He did.
So 2 days before he died. So it does make sense. If he did kill himself, it would make sense.
That should have been a red flag.
Yeah.
Or at least looked into. Or at least
but
looked
maybe
into,
it
but
could have
whatever.
even been maybe he had a feeling he was gonna be killed off. It could have even been something like that where he's like, I'm in jail, I'm not protected, like people are gonna come for me because I know too much.
I don't give a flying fuck what jail you go to. Nobody in prison, even convicted murderers, like child molesters or any of that shit. So you will be dealt with.
Yeah.
Just
and
saying.
he just knew so much. He could do so much damage.
Yeah, but
crazy.
he had complaints about where he was. So. Had vermin. And
so
like
ridiculous.
it was very he's not used to those conditions,
Oh,
Kelly.
I know.
He was not used to that.
But it's just crazy. It's crazy to think of who was involved with him. I think Trump was very involved with him. We did, when we were charging the battery, we did a little bit like more research, and apparently Trump held like a private party for the two of them in '92 at the Mar-a-Lago hotel with like a bunch of girls and stuff, models, and I don't know. There's just a lot of stories of Trump with Epstein that seemed
could do what they wanted to
really
do,
sketchy,
and they could get away with it, and you know,
and not just Trump, a lot of people.
Oh yeah, like that whole Kevin Spacey thing with the molestation crap.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other.
With Kevin Spacey, it was just that one guy that came forward, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it was just one guy.
I'm not sure.
But I think more like Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a comparable example.
Just like wealthy people. Just like this all happened with wealthy people, and it's like it's exhausting to like research and find out.
It is, and there's so much information.
There's so much stuff and so many like.
I feel like we probably missed so many things.
Yeah, we probably did, but we did our best.
There's just so much out there. Like, research it for yourself. I know, we did do our best, because, like, I did a lot of research today. He did a lot of research, and then, you know, like I said, when we were, like, doing breaks, you know, charging up the camera and whatever, we were doing more research, and we were like, oh my god, look at this person, look at that. It's just crazy.
The more episodes that we do, the closer we are to actually making, you know, this like a business, and we love doing it.
Yeah.
So
potentially
we'll have more time. We work full time.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, everybody else out there, but we love doing this for you guys.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, we've spoken about everything we could speak about.
Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention that I wanted to.
What's that?
Was that his plane was called the Lolita Express.
Lolita Express.
It doesn't get more obvious than that.
True.
You know?
It doesn't. Plus, he had the same pilot for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, was that he definitely was paid off.
Yeah. So it's like, hey,
everyone
you know,
that was working for him, they were all in cahoots, because they were all like, we're getting lots of money, and they're probably thinking, well, these girls wouldn't do it unless they wanted to. Like, turning a blind eye, convincing themselves that it was okay. And money.
So, anyway. But we tried to, as bad as a topic, I mean, as good, as bad as a topic as this is, with the trafficking and the underage people, we tried to do our best to communicate this to you guys. Granted, I
feel like we were a little all over the place, but that's usual.
Yeah.
That's usual for us.
Yeah, that's usual. But, thank you for watching.
Thank
we
you
really
for watching.
Appreciate it. And
for sure.
we will see you next time. And again, this is Spill the Beans. I am Jordan.
Spill the Beans. I'm Kelly. And like I said, this episode will probably be released before some of our other pre-recorded episodes. Not that I guess it really makes a difference.
Doesn't.
But so I'm not sure what our next topic is going to be, but it will either be...
We'll figure it out.
Annabelle, Area 51.
Yeah.
I forget the other one that we recorded already. Yeah. Oh yeah, chemtrails.
Yep.
So you have all 3 of those episodes to look forward to. And
we will
we'll see you guys next time.
Next time. Well, fuck it. Space.